What's up, everyone? Today we're talking about something unique in the dashcam industry. Driving on mountain roads when the fog rolls in is absolutely nightmarish. You can't see the road, let alone the wildlife or obstacles hiding in the soup. Out in these areas, we see a massive number of accidents every single year precisely because our eyes and standard headlights just aren't enough. It's not just for the dark or the mountain passes either. When the weather gets ugly, smoke, snow, heavy rain, or even thick dust in the air, regular cameras and your standard headlights struggle to penetrate the mess. That's the exact problem the Vantrue Pilot 2 or P2 is built to solve. It literally has thermal imaging and some other cool features we haven't seen in a dashcam before. Let's get started to find out what it has to offer. When we look at the P2, it's clear they didn't just slap a thermal lens on an old body and call it a day. The whole system is actually 5 distinct parts working together. We have a front and rear view camera, along with an interior camera, which makes it a good option for rideshare drivers as well. We also have the external thermal camera, which is fully waterproof with an IP67 rating to survive the elements on your front bumper or hood. Everything is routed through a massive 6.25-inch touchscreen display that replaces the standard tiny dashcam screen, giving you a proper monitor for that thermal feed. On the technical side, Vantrue went all out with Sony STARVIS 2 sensors. Most brands only put the good sensor in the front, but the P2 uses them for the front, cabin, and rear channels. This means every angle supports HDR, providing actual detail in extreme low light rather than just a grainy mess. They've also introduced their Plate Vantage technology, which is specifically tuned to prioritize and track license plates in motion, automatically focusing on them to ensure you actually get the numbers when it counts. For those of us who worry about storage, the P2 supports up to 1 terabyte, which translates to over 680 hours of continuous recording. They also addressed the moment after problem with a buffer that records up to 10 seconds before an impact, so you get the full story of the accident, not just the collision itself. Now let's talk about the installation, because with 5 different components and a dedicated display, this isn't a 5-minute job. You're going to want to set aside some time to do this right. The process starts with the main unit. You'll want to prep the area with alcohol and a lint-free cloth to ensure the adhesive actually stays put on your dash. The main unit sticks firmly, and from there you move to the windshield for the main camera. Vantrue includes static stickers, which we always appreciate because it means you aren't gunking up your glass with permanent adhesive. The main camera has specific ports. The left is for the main display unit and the top is for the rear cable. The rear camera installation is fairly standard. Clean the glass, use the adhesive, and press firmly. However, the front thermal camera is where things get interesting. Because every vehicle is different, they provide multiple mounting brackets. If you have a gap under your hood over 25 millimeters, you can use a thumb screw mount. For gaps between 10 and 25 millimeters, there's threaded studs. On vehicles where the hood is too thick to clamp, like some modern trucks, there's an adhesive bracket that lets you mount the thermal lens above the license plate or at the front edge of the hood. Routing the cables is the most time-consuming part. Vantrue provides a green bent wire tool to help guide the thermal cable through the engine bay and under the hood. You'll want to use cable ties to secure everything along the internal structure of the engine bay so nothing is flapping around near the engine. Once that's inside the cabin, you're looking at a lot of tucking and hiding. The thermal camera plugs into the top left port on the back of the main unit. You'll need to use the provided pry tool to hide the main camera cable along the roofline, while the main unit cable runs along the dashboard and down into the A-pillar. The rear cable follows a similar path along the roof through the B and C pillars and finally into the C pillar. Power comes from a standard car charger cable plugged into the cigarette lighter. If the unit fires up, you're good to go. To put the necessity of this tech into perspective, we have to look at the numbers. Every year, millions of wild animals die on North American roads. According to a State Farm 2025 annual report, wildlife collisions caused over 2.4 million traffic accidents across the United States and Canada. These aren't just minor fender benders. These are high-impact, life-threatening events that happen because darkness hides the danger until it's too late. The Vantrue Pilot 2 is essentially trying to delete that hidden window of time. Beyond the safety tech, Vantrue threw in some much-needed quality-of-life features. The P2 has built-in wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. For those of us driving older rigs without modern infotainment, this is a massive bonus. You connect your phone via Bluetooth, and suddenly that 6.25-inch screen is handling your maps, music, and calls, while simultaneously acting as your thermal safety hub. It turns the dashcam from a passive recording device into an active part of your driving experience. The Vantrue Pilot 2 is a bold move. It's the first time we've seen high-end thermal imaging, usually reserved for luxury military-grade setups or top-tier BMWs and Audis, made available as an aftermarket kit. It isn't just about having a cool gadget, it's a fundamental shift in how we approach visibility in poor conditions. The combination of Sony STARVIS 2 sensors, triple HDR, and that dedicated thermal lens creates a safety net that standard cameras simply cannot match. Is the installation a bit of a chore? Yes. Is it a lot of hardware to have in your cabin? Absolutely. But for anyone who frequently drives in rural areas, deals with heavy fog, or lives in regions with high wildlife activity, this is a game changer. It reveals what darkness hides. The Vantrue Pilot 2 re-engineers what clarity and protection should look like on the road. Anyway, that's our deep dive into the Vantrue Pilot 2. It's a massive step forward for dashcam tech and a genuine safety tool for those who need it most. We're curious to hear what you think. Is thermal imaging the future of road safety, or is it overkill for your daily commute? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this review helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more tech breakdowns, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.